Hello, viewers. Welcome back to the Huddle. Today, we're joined by EvenBet CEO Dmitry Starostenkov. Dmitry, thanks so much for your time today and for joining us. We're going to be talking all things EvenBet. So, to start off with, I think a good place to begin would be give us sort of a walkthrough of EvenBet's recent product portfolio expansion, and how you're hoping it will shape your roadmap for the rest of 2026 and beyond.
So, basically, in May 2026, we reached a major milestone that marks a new phase of global growth of EvenBet. So we stepped out beyond our core product, poker software, and launched full-scale turnkey casino platform and a game aggregator. It's kind of sounds like a typical path for B2B gaming provider. But in our case, it's kind of inevitable because we have been focusing to poker operation for 20 years, and it's our core, it's our DNA. But we found out that part of our customers, operators, they tend to prefer to have the whole turnkey solution from one provider, just because it's the competition is getting tightened now, and we are experiencing like higher competition between operators, and their margins are becoming lower and lower. So they are trying to optimize as much as possible their cost structure. This is why they would prefer to license, if they are strictly poker operation focused, they would prefer to license platform games aggregations from single provider. So this way they could be cost efficient, and they could control better their costs. But from other side, that we also are thinking about how to expand our presence on the external API integrations to casino platforms, and this is why we leverage cross-vertical engagement with our new products like one-click poker, spins poker, so where players can enjoy casino-side games directly within poker lobby without interruptions their sessions. So for the second half of 2026, this kind of our roadmap focused heavily on modular supply chain compression and deep compliance, as such as our recent B2B license in Denmark. And also we are applying for new licenses on the European markets, in the American markets, and so forth. So we are just selling software. We are giving operators the agile infrastructure. They need to build sustainable communities and grow their GGR over the long term.
Well, on the topic of geographical expansion, I understand that Africa is also a big focus market for EvenBet moving forwards. And I was wondering which markets you're looking at within the continent specifically, and why. And also, to link back to your last answer, how does Africa link to the strategies that you just underlined?
Yeah, when we look at Africa, we are not just approach it as a single market, but as a collection of very different, diversified, unique, fast-evolving jurisdictions. So right now, our primary focus in South Africa, where we have already established a very strong partnership with high-profile, top-tier operators like Hollywood's Bets, and it's already has a very mature regulatory framework and highly engaged community of poker players that understand the game. So we are expanding on this market, and we are happy with this trend. But beyond that, we are also closely analyzing other markets and potentials in Western and Eastern Africa, primarily Nigeria, Kenya, but we are also present now at the moment in Tanzania, for example. We are having very nice customers there. And finally, for example, we have been very nice operation in Ethiopia. But as we all know right now, the regulation has changed there, and no more regulated licensed operations are allowed in Ethiopia. But we are looking forward for really reopening of this market, because for poker vertical is kind of very promising. Succeeding in this region, as we all know, requires deep localization and technical resilience. We need to specifically re-engineer our software to perform flawlessly under local connectivity realities, because internet connection is not stable, and device CPUs and average are very low. So we have to rebuild our platform to be incredibly light and easily accessible, meaning to run smoothly regardless of internet speeds and how advanced of players' smartphone. So by combining technical lightness with hybrid fast-paced formats of poker game, where players without knowledge of poker game can quickly jump in and try themselves how to play, like spins poker or one-click poker, we are trying to make it incredibly easy for our partners, casino operators, to onboard new audience on these markets.
When you're looking at the more broad picture around, what the poker landscape can offer on a global scale, what does Africa offer to you that's particularly exciting, especially those markets within the continent that you talked about? Sort of especially looking at the innovation side of creating a very lean and streamlined platform that has to be localized for that area.
Yeah, on global scale, what excites me about Africa is that it doesn't carry the heavy baggage of legacy iGaming infrastructure. Like in mature markets like Europe or North America, and even partially Latin America, the industry is largely anchored to traditional desktop habits, complex multi-tabling setups, and affiliate networks that are increasingly running out of roads. But Africa, by contrast, is completely bypassing all those old evolutionary phases and leaps straight into the mobile-first, socially driven ecosystem. For technology providers, this represents the ultimate playground for innovation. So when we look at opportunity here, it's not just about market size or higher user numbers. It's about a fundamental shift in how poker is perceived and played. Globally, many operators have made the mistakes of dehumanizing players, treating them purely as data point and all acquisition KPIs. In Africa, the audience inherently view gaming through a social lens. They want quick, competitive, and entertainment interaction that fits naturally in their day.
I think, especially when we talk about online poker, one of the first jurisdictions that comes to most or lots of people's minds would be India, which obviously, as an infrastructurally developing nation, bears some similarities to some of these markets within Africa that we're talking about. Was looking at that market and drawing any experience from any experience that you may have had there part of your strategy when developing your product for these nations?
Yeah, you're right. As we know, it had been regulating online poker in India up to August 2025. It had been regulated market for online poker, but in August the government decided to completely ban any online real money gaming in the country, and we had lost massive markets and very thriving market. So hopefully the government will reconsider in the near future the approach, and maybe they will go the path of regulation instead of complete ban of real money gaming. This is what we are hoping for. But you're right that similarities are absolutely structural. So, and our big experience in India has essentially helped us how to approach Africa. So India was the market that forced the entire industry to realize important truth traditional heavy European desktop platforms are completely useless in emerging mobile-first economy. So 2 main lessons we have learned in India that directly applicable to our African strategy today. First is like technical. So India taught us how to ensure software runs flawlessly on budget devices, fluctuating 3G, 4G networks, keeping the player's experience very seamless. Moreover, the modern attention to spend down just a few seconds, you have to captivate the player instantly. This is why we focus heavily on quick spins, format, gamification, localized rewards, that drive daily engagement without risking bonus abuse. The second lesson is more philosophical and related to how we work with B2B clients. Years ago, our approach was to activate as many operators as possible and let them figure out how to survive. India has completely changed this mindset. We realize that online poker is not set and forget casino vertical, but it's skill-based, community-driven game. So we gained some experience that we need to build a close partnership with our operators, with our customers, operators, to build a really robust product for the market, to make it to understand players' ecosystems and how daily to manage this. So really on this market, we learned about these deep partnerships and going together to the market.
Mm-hmm. I think more broadly, and especially looking at your strategy specifically, it seems now as if online poker is going more towards a mobile-first, quick spin, kind of instant poker format. Could you talk us a little bit about the evolution behind that and how you think we've arrived at this point?
Our evolution toward mobile-first in instant format was driven by clear reality. Players' behavior has fundamentally transforming. For years, the industry optimized for desktop grinders, sitting at screens for hours, by like having 20 tables open on the big screens, playing simultaneously on all these tables and at the same time tournaments. But digital generation in 2026 lives in different environments. It's fast-paced, truth-driven mobile world. For them, traditional pokers, it's kind of biggest flaw because of the waiting time. In the modern traditional attentional economy, waiting 70% of the time for your next hand is like a metric for player to drop off. So from one side, we didn't want to kill strategic depth of poker, because it's a strategic game, it's very deep, it's skillful, and there's some learning curve. But we have to kill the downtime at the same time. And that was the catalyst for our vertical screen mobile-first design. We reshaped our platform around instant gamification formats like spins poker, one-click poker, while integrating smart, engaging side features directly into poker lobby to keep the experience entertainment even between hands. So this is how we see the modern format targeting toward recreational players.
Mm-hmm. So I think for my last question to close out things today on a slightly different topic, I know EvenBet was one of the first to offer blockchain and crypto support right back in 2014 when the field was still in the developmental stages. 12 years later, how do you reflect on the way that these things have evolved, especially to become such an integral part of the modern gambling industry? And in what way are they now sort of central to your offerings and your strategies?
When we first started working with crypto, introduced crypto support, crypto deposits, it was Bitcoin back in 2014, the industry viewed it as just experimental gimmick. Looking back from 2026, it's clear that crypto has evolved from just a niche payment alternative into structural reality that is actually rewriting the whole rules of the industry. Today, blockchain capability is central to the ecosystem because it provides the ultimate operational flexibility. With traditional B2B margins shrinking under increasing local regulation, crypto infrastructure gives some freedom to our partners to remain highly agile and global. So our early start gave us 20 years head start in perfecting this tech. So 2026 ensures that EvenBet operators can scale and pivot instantly while companies stuck in the old track and running out of road.
Great. Well, super interesting insights. So, Dmitry, thank you so much for your time today. And great to have you on. And I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. And as always, thank you, viewers. We will see you in the next one.
Thank you for hosting me and have a nice day.